everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Catherine and this is Raspberry Reads. Thanks so much for being here. I've had a lot of new subscribers recently, which is wonderful but quite overwhelming. And from what I can gather, a lot of people really enjoyed my top 5 historical fiction recommendation video, because that one has been blowing up, as it were. So yeah, thanks so much for enjoying that video and for subscribing. I'm really glad you're here. And obviously, thank you very much to my returning subscribers as well. You're such a wonderful community. I can't believe that we're already almost halfway through 2024. Like, what is life? But yeah, so this video is my June TBR for 2024, or let's call it half a TBR, because there's books that I definitely will get to, and half a pile of possibilities. I've seen that term on booktube and I quite like that, because I know I won't get to all of these books, but they are possibilities. So yes, let's just get right into it, shall we? So the first book that I'd like to get to in June is The Covenant of Water by Abraham Verghese. Thank you to everybody who voted on my community tab as to which historical fiction book I should read in June. I'm participating in, I have to refer to it, Read Historical Fiction 2024. And this is by Shellyish. I recently subscribed to her channel. She also likes historical fiction, and she's very kindly hosting a readathon for lovers of historical fiction, which is the best. So I'm actually going to try and dedicate most of my month to reading historical fiction, because it's something that I love so much. So yes, everybody voted. I had, I think, around 16 votes on my community tab, and 63% at the time I'm filming this suggested The Covenant of Water. So I will get to that book soon. And just to read the synopsis for you, because I'm actually not familiar that much about what The Covenant of Water is about. So it says, spanning the years 1900 to 1977, The Covenant of Water follows a family in southern India that suffers a peculiar affliction. In every generation, at least one person dies by drowning, and in Kerala, water is everywhere. At the turn of the century, a 12-year-old girl grieving the death of her father is sent by boat to her wedding, where she will meet her 40-year-old husband for the first time. From this poignant beginning, the young girl and future matriarch, known as Big Amachi, will witness unthinkable changes at home and at large over the span of her extraordinary life, full of the joys and trials of love and the struggles of hardship. A shimmering evocation of a lost India and the passage of time itself, The Covenant of Water is a hymn to progress in medicine and to human understanding, and is a humbling testament to the hardships undergone by past generations for the sake of those alive today. Imbued with humor, deep emotion, and the essence of life, it is one of the most masterful literary novels published in recent years. So I've had to shift my camera. My tripod is having difficulties today. It keeps sliding. But yeah, so that's The Covenant of Water. I'm very excited to get to it. Also, I am planning on reading The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo in June. This book has been everywhere on booktube, BookTok, etc. I've kind of seen mixed reviews on it, but I've been trying to not pay attention to any of those views because I want to go in blind. I mentioned this book in my most anticipated books of 2024 video, which I'll link up in the cards. And yes, I'm just trying to go in blind. I believe, and this is a bit of a spoiler, that I'm going to pick it up when I go to Foyles, which is a famous bookshop in London, when I go next month. And yes, so I'll start it in sort of the second week of June. All right, so what I thought I would do is I pulled a stack of, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books from my bookshelf, and these are a pile of possibilities for either historical fiction or history. And I'm just going to go through them really quickly. Will I get to all of these books? No. Will I get to some of them? Possibly. But this will just give you a flavor of the types of books that are sitting on my bookshelf at the moment. So first up is Memoirs of a Geisha by Arthur Golden. I mentioned this in a recent haul video. I picked it up at a local charity shop. This is set in the 1920s, I believe. Yes, 1929 to post-war in Japan, and it's about a geisha, a woman who's a geisha. So yes, historical fiction. If you've read this, let me know your thoughts without any spoilers. Another book that I've had on my shelf for quite a while is Conjure Women by Afia Atakora. And just to read a little excerpt of this book, it says, Conjure Women is a captivating novel of belief and suspicion, friendship and betrayal, and the lengths we will go to save the ones we love. I believe this is about a midwife and somebody having healing powers in a community based in the antebellum South. And it's been compared to Beloved, which I will mention in a minute. So yes, I might get to Conjure Women this month. Another historical fiction book that I've had on my shelf for at least a few years is The Trade by Fred Stenson. And this book is set in Canada. So it's 1822 and it's about the Hudson's Bay Company. So we're talking about the fur trade. It says, it's a story of how European culture, including religion, tried to root itself in this anarchic place and often failed in the end. It is the story of how the mighty fur trade was rolled under by the greater forces of change in history. Obviously, I'm from Canada. The fur trade is a big part of our history. So yeah, I haven't really heard much about this, and I can't even remember why I picked it up, but in any case, if you've read this, let me know your thoughts. Okay, the next book, which I'm just going to say I know I'm not going to get to in June because I haven't got to it in like 20 years that it's been on my bookshelf, but I'll get to it one day. And this is the biggest book that I have on my shelf, and it's The Memoirs of Cleopatra by Margaret George. I picked this up when I was a teenager, when I was going through my huge ancient Egypt phase, and I just never got to it. I mean, look at that. How many pages is this? Just under 1,000 pages. I'm sure it's brilliant. I'm sure when I have the time I will get to it one day, but I just thought I'd show this to you as a historical fiction recommendation. I would really like to get to it. Have you read it? If so, let me know. And if you have read it, do you think this is one that I should prioritize despite its chunkiness? And last up we have a history book, but a non-fiction history book, and I want to say it's academic, but I think it's actually more so a generalist history. But the reason why I'm questioning it is because I read this author's academic work. So this is William Eamon's, Eamon, I should say, The Professor of Secrets, Mystery, Medicine and Alchemy in Renaissance Italy. So I should say, Lisa, if you are watching this, I'm sorry I haven't got to this yet. My supervisor for my master's degree gifted this to me way back when, and I've never got to it. I didn't have the time, but it's always sat on my shelf, and it's something that I would really like to get to. It says, set against the sumptuous backdrop of Renaissance Italy, this riveting historical thriller. Oh, interesting. So it might actually be, okay, it says historical thriller, but I don't think it's fiction. Explores the era's medicine and culture through the life of the world's first celebrity doctor, whose miracle cures and outsized personality drew both adoration and scorn. So this is The Professor of Secrets was Leonardo Fioravanti, a brilliant, forward-thinking and utterly unconventional doctor. His marvelous remedies and talent for self-aggrandizement, that's hard to say, earned him the admiration of the people, the derision of the medical establishment, and a reputation as one of his era's most colorful and combative figures. I mean, this is right up my alley. Obviously, that's why my supervisor gifted it to me, because this is much what I did my own academic research on. So yes, I would love to get to this book this year. So maybe I will try and prioritize this one actually for reading historical fiction in June, even though it's technically not fiction. And otherwise, I've got quite a few books on the go. I mean, my subscribers who have been here since I started a couple of months ago will know that I'm a mood reader, so I like to flit between a lot of different books, and thus I don't finish books all the time by the end of the month. So I've got 3 books on the go that in all likelihood I won't finish in May, so I will finish in June. The first one is Beloved by Toni Morrison, so I'm listening to that on audiobook. My loan expired on the Libby app and I needed to return it because somebody else wanted to listen to it, so I've been waiting in the queue to get that back. I think I'm at around 60%, so when that loan comes through in a week or so, I'll be able to finish up Beloved. I was really enjoying it, and I'm sure I will continue to enjoy it. Otherwise, I've also got an ebook on the Libby app, and this is The New Wilderness by Diane Cook, and this is a dystopian novel, and I'm around 30% through. I really like it so far. Dystopian is one of my favorite genres. This one is really well written. The writing's really good and provocative. I like the premise of it. Basically, there's a scientific experiment or a social experiment where there's a group of people who have moved from the populated sort of city regions into the new wilderness, which kind of seems like sort of like a US national park style thing where there are rangers, and these people are meant to be self-sufficient and basically hunter-gatherer type people. Yeah, I'm only 30% through. I love it so far. I hope I can finish it in June, but I know somebody else is wanting to read it on the Libby app, so I might need to let them borrow it and then stick it as a hold and finish it later in the summer. We'll see. And lastly, one that I'll just mention, and to be perfectly honest with you, I don't know if I'm going to keep going with this book, but I'm listening to The Wild Silence by Raynor Winn. I'm 25% through this audiobook at the moment, and it's narrated by the author. I really enjoyed Raynor Winn's The Salt Path, which was her first memoir about walking with her husband on the southwest coastal path. I never get the name of that right, but it is a path by the ocean. This one so far is it's really sad. I mean, a lot of it is talking about her grief process to do with her mother. I'm sure it will get to another adventure, but at the moment, I'm just finding it a little bit too hard-hitting to be enjoyable. So I might end up just giving this one a miss because it seems to be so far less so about going on an adventure in a natural landscape and more so a memoir about her struggles. But yeah, so those are all the books that I will either definitely get to in June, or they're just books that I wanted to share with you, and maybe I'll get to them in June, maybe not. Are you participating in the Read Historical Fiction 2024 readathon hosted by Shellyish? If so, then let me know in the comments. If you are planning on reading soon either The Covenant of Water or The Familiar and you want to buddy read them with me, please let me know about that as well. And otherwise, I'm always interested to hear what books you're planning on reading or what you're currently reading. Yeah, all your thoughts, please put them below in the comments, and I look forward to chatting with you. That just leaves me to say that I hope you're all doing really well and enjoying whatever it is that you're reading, and I will see you soon in a new video. All right, take care. Bye.